Here's a good tip for anybody out there that has a problem with their either power steering pump or their rack and pinion. And it actually worked for me 2 different times. And I swear by this product, or at least products. And if you have a slight power steering leak, and like I said, in the rack and pinion or in the power steering pump. Now what you do is you, hold on, I'll get this thing real quick. Sorry about that. You get yourself a little baster. See that turkey baster there? Open your hood. Once you open your hood, you access the power steering pump. You get a little cup, put it next to the power steering pump, and then you suck all the old power steering fluid out of your power steering pump. So as soon as you push this down like you're basting a turkey, and you keep sucking it out, putting it in a cup. Watch you don't spill too much over your engine. Make sure the cup is right next to the power steering pump. If you have to get somebody to hold it, that's even better. So as soon as you take it all out of your power steering pump, what I recommend, highly recommend, is getting some of this AT205 reseal. This is actually the best of the best. It does work. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people don't like these additives and put in their car. They're afraid they're going to break things and siege, like things are going to siege up or whatever. Seize up. Siege. What the hell am I saying? Sorry about that. Yeah, so this stuff won't harm your engine, won't harm your transmission, and it won't harm your power steering pump or your rack and pinion. So if you have a slight leak, not a real heavy leak, of course, but like a slight leak to mid-grade leak, I would highly recommend using this right here. I'm telling you, it works. There might be a couple people out there that said that ruined their transmission or whatever, but there must have been other problems with their cars, because they're definitely not going to make this product to kill your transmission or your power steering pump or whatever. I'm telling you right now, it does not affect it. It's not going to clog any pores up. All it does is rejuvenates the seals, kind of swells them up a little bit, the rubber seals, and it'll prevent the leaks. If you have small to mid-range leaks, I pretty much 70% to 100% guarantee that this will stop it. As long as it's not flowing too much, you know what I'm saying? So as soon as you take all the power steering fluid out, get yourself a little syringe without the needle, cut the opening a little bit, bigger, so you have a nice little hole there. Open this product up, put it in a cup, and then fill this up. I put 4 tablespoons in. See the 4 tablespoons? Put the 4 tablespoons in first before you put any more fresh oil in it, any power steering oil. And then after you do that, add this Lucas power steering stomp leak, okay? And this is really thick. So as soon as you pour it, get a funnel. Make sure you have a small funnel, put it in your power steering pump where you have your cap off, and fill it up to wherever the maximum is allowed. So there's you have to keep checking to make sure that you don't overfill. So make sure you go right to the line where it says maximum fill. Drive your car for about 15-20 minutes. You can even get in your car, start your car, and go back with the steering wheel left to right, like this, about 4 or 5 times. So that power steering fluid and this additive will start circulating through the power rack, this power steering rack, and also the pump and all the hoses and etc. So once you do that a few times, drive it, 4 or 5 times, maybe 6, 7, 8 times, depending on where you go, how many miles. And, you'll start to see, hopefully, I know it worked for me 100%, but it took like 2 or 3 times to do it. So meaning that just one time might not work for you, and it didn't not work for me. So then after so many miles that I drove, not too many miles, maybe about 100, 200 miles tops, I just redid the same thing. took all the old power steering fluid out, put another, instead of putting 4 ounces this time, I only put 3 ounces. So make sure you don't put 4 ounces for the second time. You don't want to keep adding too much of this stuff, but it's not going to kill it. So let's put it that way. And then try it again. Make sure you fill it up with this stuff again after you put a few ounces of this in, of the AT 205. Then make sure you top it off with this. Do that again. It took me 3 times to do that. Now the third time, I only added about 1 teaspoon. So I didn't go to the 4, I didn't go to the 3. The second time was the 3. I added about a teaspoon, maybe just a little bit more, maybe a little bit over for the third time. Then I installed, I poured some new Lucas leak. No leaks. I haven't had leaks for 2 years. 2 years, and that's the truth. My rack and pinion completely stopped leaking. I mean, it was not a puddle of leak, but there was like a good amount of drops in the driveway, that maybe 3, 4, 5 drops that spread about this wide. So there was a decent amount of oil that was coming out of that rack. So I guarantee you, in my case, it 110% worked, but it took 3 times. 3 times. Now this stuff is costly. This stuff is really high. This anywhere is from $21 to $26, but you don't need very much. It comes in, I think it's 8 ounces. Yeah, I believe it's 8 ounces in here. And this stuff is kind of high. This is a small bottle, but if you want to invest into the bigger bottle, you can. It will last, but guarantee it'll work. Okay? So there again, just follow my instructions. If it's flowing too heavy, well, at least you tried. But at least this will guarantee to slow the leak down. If it doesn't work, in your case, this is thick power steering fluid, it will actually slow it down. And again, depending on where it's leaking. If you have a hole this big, of course, it's not going to stop it. You know what I mean? If you have a big hole in your hose, your power steering hose, your high pressure hose, you're going to have to replace your hoses, of course. But other than that, if you have a slight leak coming out of your power steering rack or your pump, try it. It's a lot cheaper than replacing them. And sometimes these cars are a pain in the ass to take the pump out, so it's less work. And you're probably spending no more than $30, $35 for everything. Okay? Give it a shot. It worked for me. Good luck.